I loved how your eyes screamed louder than your voice ever could. My favorite thing was your hesitation. It showed me you cared too much. Your pain was the most beautiful thing you tried to bury. I never wanted your perfection, just your permission to fall apart together. You never said much, but your silence broke me open. My favorite thing was the way your love trembled. You healed me by not pretending to be whole. You didn't need to shine. You needed someone to sit in the dark with you. I adored the way your smile looked like survival. My favorite thing about you was the ache you hid behind "I'm okay." You didn't need to impress me. Your brokenness already did. Your grief felt like a language only I could understand. I loved the way your pain softened mine. Your vulnerability was louder than any declaration of love. My favorite thing was how you cried like the world owed you softness. You didn't ask for safety. You became mine. You whispered hurt with eyes that screamed hope. My favorite thing was your stillness. It made time collapse. You didn't wear masks, you wore memories. I loved how your regret tasted like honesty. Your love wasn't easy, but it was real. You made heartbreak feel like poetry. I adored the rawness of your goodbye. My favorite thing about you was your depth. You didn't float. You drowned. You broke everything but my faith in you. I loved the way your eyes held secrets, like holy relics. You never tried to be beautiful. You simply were. My favorite thing was how your truth didn't tremble. Your pain didn't ask for pity, just presence. I adored the defiance in your fragility. You didn't heal me. You reminded me I wasn't alone. I loved the way you made silence a sanctuary. Your love was flawed, but fearless. My favorite thing about you was the way you loved without hope. You weren't safe, but you were sacred. I admired the hurt you carried without resentment. You didn't beg for love. You endured it. My favorite thing was your uncertainty. It meant you felt deeply. You turned longing into art. I loved how your darkness didn't apologize. Your wounds weren't ugly, they were honest. I fell for the sorrow you didn't know how to hide. My favorite thing was the chaos you wore like silk. You didn't want to be saved, you wanted to be seen. Your silence always told the truth before your mouth could lie. I loved the way your hurt made space for mine. You taught me that being broken isn't a weakness, it's a revelation. I adored the strength in your shatter. My favorite thing was how you never pretended to be okay. You gave without asking, you stayed without promising. I loved the way you never asked for more, you just deserved it. You didn't hold me, you haunted me. I admired the part of you that kept showing up anyway. My favorite thing was how your sorrow taught me reverence. You didn't want to be fixed. You wanted to be felt. I adored the loneliness that lived in your smile. You weren't made for comfort. You were made for awakening. I loved how your silence exposed my truth. You burned quietly, and that terrified me. My favorite thing was how your love looked like sacrifice. You cried like someone who once trusted too much. I loved the edge in your affection. You didn't beg to be loved. You turned someone to see you. My favorite thing about you was your depth. It swallowed me whole. You weren't trying to be poetic. You just were. You made me ache in the most divine way. Your love wasn't loud, but it was unforgettable. I loved how you held guilt like a second heart. You turned your sorrow into something sacred. My favorite thing was how your voice cracked when you cared. You didn't pretend to be light. You were the storm. I fell for the ache in your stillness. You didn't just leave, you echoed. I loved how your fear never stopped you from loving again. You made absence feel personal. My favorite thing was how your silence forgave me first. I adored the strength you hid in your breakdowns. You didn't look like healing, but you were. You didn't save me. You gave me permission to break. You weren't a chapter. You were the undercurrent. My dear, my favorite thing about you is your silence. It always told me the truth I feared. My favorite thing about you is your chaos. It made my peace feel earned. Your gaze, haunted, holy, and human. That's what I fell for. My favorite thing was never your smile. It was the pain you hid behind it. I loved your voice most when it trembled. Your scars were the first poems I ever memorized. My favorite thing was the way your anger protected your softness. I fell for your fear. It made you real. Your honesty didn't heal me. It undid me. I loved how your loneliness matched mine like a mirror. My favorite thing about you, the damage you never denied. I wasn't drawn to your beauty. I was pulled by your ache. I adored the way your eyes apologized before your lips could. My favorite thing was your silence. It screamed louder than love. I loved the part of you that no one clapped for. You loved like someone preparing to lose everything. My favorite thing was your rage. It meant you cared. I adored the wounds you didn't explain. Your flaws were my favorite form of truth. I loved how your sadness taught me to listen. My favorite thing was how your soul never asked permission. I fell for the part of you that begged for nothing. Your mystery wasn't a game, it was a wound. I adored your darkness more than your light. My favorite thing was how you kept breaking and still returned whole. You never needed to speak. Your absence screamed devotion. I loved the way your hands hesitated before touching me. Your rawness was the scripture my heart memorized. I never loved your perfection. I worshipped your undone parts. My favorite thing was how you made silence feel like music. Your grief had more beauty than your joy. I fell in love with the battles you never talked about. Your stillness was louder than thunder to me. The way your truth didn't beg to be believed, that broke me. I adored how you didn't pretend to be okay. My favorite thing was the ache in your goodbye. You made heartbreak look holy. I never loved your laugh. I loved what it cost you. Your apology was my favorite kind of poem. My favorite thing about you was the pain you disguised as strength. I loved the guilt you carried. It made your love fragile. You didn't just enter my life, you excavated it. I adored your hunger for something you couldn't name. I loved the way your love sounded tired. My favorite thing was how you collapsed inward when no one was watching. You never begged to be understood, just witnessed. I loved the edge in your vulnerability. My favorite thing about you is how broken you weren't ashamed to be. Your surrender felt like thunder in my chest. I didn't love your strength. I worshipped your weakness. Your absence taught me more than your presence. My favorite thing was how your silence cradled my storms. You taught me that beauty exists in unfinished stories. I loved the ache in your "I'm fine." You didn't try to be lovable. That's why I loved you. Your eyes apologized before your mouth could lie. I adored your bitterness. It meant you felt deeply. Your honesty was always a little violent. I fell for your refusal to be understood. My favorite thing was how your soul didn't flinch. I loved the fear in your faith. You loved like someone still grieving. I adored the courage in your silence. You didn't sparkle. You ached, and that was enough. My favorite thing was how your sadness softened me. You never needed fixing, just understanding. I loved the way your eyes searched for safety. My favorite thing was your hurt. It mirrored mine. You didn't chase peace, you embodied it. I fell in love with the storm you tried to hide. Your shadow felt like home. I loved your capacity to stay after being hurt. My favorite thing was the grace in your grief. You never needed to impress me. Your ache was enough. I adored the way you held pain like an artist. I never feared your demons. I envied them. You didn't glow, you burned. I loved that. Your truth was my favorite type of danger. I loved the part of you that stayed silent when it should have screamed. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Like, comment your favorite quote and subscribe for more. My favorite thing was the honesty in your confusion. You weren't loud, you were forgettable. I loved your pauses more than your answers. The tremble in your voice was holy. I fell in love with the things you didn't say. Your absence still tugs at my breath. I adored your quiet rage. It meant you still believed in justice. My favorite thing was how you loved, even when it hurt you. You didn't seek light, you became it. I loved the mess you didn't clean up for me. Your grief whispered louder than sermons. I fell for the way your eyes doubted themselves. You weren't perfect, but you were real, and that ruined me. My favorite thing was your willingness to feel everything. You held your pain like a prophet.